Hi, welcome to Yoga Any Day. Today we're going to be practicing some yoga in alignment with the astrological energies of the new moon in Aquarius on February 11th. Please subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing more new moon and full moon videos. I also teach private classes and make personalized videos. You can contact me at yogaanyday@gmail.com to learn more. We're going to look at some aspects from the new moon chart, practice hatha yoga poses which express the energies of those aspects. We'll set an intention for this new moon cycle and for the whole year, and then we'll link the energies together with some vinyasas. The title that I gave for this video is "This Seed Will Grow." That's because there's so much support and forward momentum happening right now. And I think that for our yoga practice today, we're going to keep it very easy and simple. Because there's so much support, we don't have to go through a lot of struggle today. So the yoga poses will be a little bit easier than usual. And we can just allow ourselves to enjoy a little bit of tailwind and taking it easy. So here's the chart. The first aspect that we'll look at is the new moon itself, the sun and the moon conjunct. You can see them here at 23 degrees in Aquarius. There are 6 planets in Aquarius right now, with the sun and the moon leading the way. They are in the 3rd decan, which means the final third of the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is the 11th sign of the zodiac. So we're pretty mature. We've been through a lot and we're getting towards the end. Also, Mercury has already recently traveled through this 23 degree point twice. So it's like we've seen the vision. We're ready to plant the seed for the whole year. And all of these planets that are coming up behind the sun and the moon, they're all going to pass through this point. Jupiter in particular is going to pass through here 3 times in 2021. The last one being in December, the last time being in December. So this is a big theme for the year. Jupiter's going to bring its lovely expansiveness and its beneficence. So we can expect a lot of support throughout the year for whatever intention we're going to plant today. So I want to think about not just this moon cycle, but the whole year ahead, because whatever seed we plant here in the chart is going to keep getting magnified and helped by Jupiter. So at this point, as we've traveled through Aquarius, and especially all of the Capricorn energy of 2020, we've understood who we are, our unique talents, and our specific hopes for our future. And in Aquarius, we understand how we fit into the world, that our special uniqueness is needed by the world. The Sabian symbol for this degree has to do with sharing our wisdom with those coming up behind us on a path of spiritual evolution. Knowing ourselves is wisdom, and having confidence in who we are and sharing ourselves in a pure way is beneficial to society. As we look back at those coming along behind us, we can see other people, and in an astrological sense, we see all of the planets in Aquarius who are lending momentum and support. Aquarius is the future. We're planting a seed of intention for the whole year now, and I think it displays a lot of wisdom to see the future by looking back. Like a wind at our back, Aquarius is an air sign. We turn back and smile at the tailwind. So we're going to turn back in our bodies, doing a yoga pose that encompasses this energy. It's called Sage Twist Pose, or a seated twist. So we'll start sitting. You can stretch one leg out in front of you. If you can, you want to bend your other knee and bring that foot to the outside of the straight leg. If that's not comfortable, you can just leave it on the inside of your straight leg, right in front of the hip, or even a little bit open if that's more comfortable for you. So the easiest way to do it is to hold your bent knee with the opposite hand. If you can wrap your arm around and hug the knee, that would be great. But if you want to just stay with your hand on the knee, that's fine. Then you reach the arm that's on the same side as your bent leg up in the air. And then turn back behind you as the arm comes back. And normally we would bring it all the way to the ground. I'm going to say if you feel like you need support in order to lift your back up straight, you can have the hand on the ground right behind you and press down through that back arm to help your spine lift up. If you can stay pretty upright in your spine and just have the arm reaching back straight out from the shoulder, this is really encompassing that lending a hand to the planets that are coming up behind and to the people that are coming up behind. So you can reach out through that arm like a nice warm offering through your hand. And give a little smile if you can. Breathe easily, keep lifting up tall. This is the strength of the spine, knowing who we are, standing up tall in who we are. Turning back. You can try one breath at a time, inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, gently turning back. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, gently turning back. Just don't let that back shoulder drift too high up towards your head. You want to try to keep stretching it down in the socket. Few more nice, easy breaths, lots of air. Aquarius is an air sign, as I said. There's a lot of wind coming towards us. Maybe you can feel that wind traveling right in through your face. And then reaching that arm back up over you and forward and down. And we'll stretch the bent leg out and bend the other knee up. Again, you can cross the foot over the straight leg if you want, or you can leave it on the inner thigh side of the straight leg. It can be right in front of your hip, or if you need more room, it can be a little bit out to the side. Take your opposite side hand, hold the knee, or wrap your arm around the knee, hugging it if you can. And then the other arm is going to reach forward and up. Gently back behind you as you turn back. And the hand can either support you on the ground right behind you, pressing down through that arm to help yourself sit up tall. Or it can stay stretched out at the height of your shoulder, reaching back, lending a hand to those coming up behind you. Either way, soften that shoulder down into the socket. Long breaths. We can try inhaling, lifting up through the spine. Exhaling, twisting. Inhaling, lifting up right where you are. Exhale, gently rotating, not pushing it, just kind of working one breath at a time, deepening the twist. See if you can feel the breath coming in through your nose like a wind in your face. Smile knowing that this wind is leading you forward into the future. One more nice, long, easy breath. And then reaching that back arm all the way up over you and forward and down and stretching the bent leg out. So we'll come back to the chart to look at our next aspect. This is a lovely one. We have Venus exactly conjunct Jupiter. Venus, they're both in Aquarius. Venus has just conjunct Saturn on February 5th, and it squared Uranus on February 6th. She's learned through these interactions with these outer planets about herself and about relationships with others. When Venus is conjunct Jupiter, it's a very big, expansive love. And Aquarius is how to do something. So in this case, it's how to do relationships in a way that really honors oneself. So for a yoga pose to express this energy, we're going to try upward facing warrior 2. So we'll be standing You can spread the legs nice and wide apart with the feet pointing straight forward. And then we'll turn one foot all the way out and the other foot a little bit angled with the toes forward and the heel back. Try to have that whole back foot on the ground, and you can ground yourself through the outside edge of that foot, the pinky toe side of your back foot. We'll bend the front knee over the front ankle. Reach the arms straight out to the sides. We'll just pause here for a second, taking a few breaths. Try to let the breath really expand in your chest and let the shoulders sink down as you reach out through your arms. Then we're going to take the back hand back and down to rest on the back leg. Wherever it lands on the leg is fine. I want you to really feel that strength of the connection between your back leg and your back hand, so that's giving you a lot of support to lift your chest up. And then the front arm is going to reach up over you and back towards your back leg, however far you want. Try not to do it too far because then it's going to start coming in front of your face. I'd like for it to be back by your ear. The only thing is if it's pinching in your shoulder, just try to drop the shoulder down a little and maybe back off with how far over you're going with that top arm. Breathe easily. This is a nice big opening through your side and lifting up with your chest. Keep using that back arm on the back leg for support. If you feel comfortable with your balance, you can try looking straight up at the ceiling. Big, big open breaths in the chest and the rib cage. Knowing yourself, loving yourself, receiving that grounded support from yourself, offering your big open heart, offering it fully. Really try to extend the inhale like you're pressing out through your chest and through your rib cage from the inside with the inhale. This is Jupiter's expansive quality into the heart center, which is Venus. Stretching your capacity at the top of the inhale and just blossoming open through the exhale. And to come out of it, give your back plenty of support by squeezing your stomach. Reach that top arm back up towards the ceiling and then down, and the back arm can come up, back into our warrior two, and we'll drop the arms and straighten the front leg. Just give yourself a minute before we switch to the other side. And then rotating the other foot all the way out. The back foot's going to turn on an angle with the toes pointing a little bit forward. Try to have the whole back foot on the ground, and you can try to reach back and down through the pinky toe side of that foot. So the whole outside of your back foot reaches strongly into the ground. And we'll bend the front knee over the front ankle and lift the arms out to the sides. Taking a moment here, feeling very tall through the spine. The shoulders are reaching down into the socket as you stretch out through the arms. And then reaching the back hand down to the back leg. Wherever it lands on the leg is fine. Giving a good press through that arm and squeeze through that leg so you feel very supported from underneath as you reach the front arm forward and up over your head, and then arc it back over towards the back leg. Keep pressing through the back arm and squeezing through the back leg for support to lift your chest and rib cage up. If you want, you can look up towards the ceiling. Try to make sure that the top arm doesn't fall in front of you towards your face. Try to keep it back along the ear. Again, if it's uncomfortable in your shoulder or your neck, try to drop the shoulder down in the socket or just back off a little bit with the top arm in terms of how far over you're reaching it. Big, long inhales, expanding in the sternum and the rib cage. Pushing with the inhale, pushing your boundaries, expanding yourself. Really offering your heart up and open. Use that back arm and back leg for the strength and support to be able to open and offer your heart up. One more long, long inhale. Enjoy that expansive feeling in the heart. And then reaching the top arm forward again. Squeeze your stomach as the back arm lifts up, supporting your back. Straightening the front leg and letting the arms come back down. And we'll come back to the chart to look at our third and final aspect. So here you can see we have Neptune sextiling Mars. Neptune is in Pisces and Mars is in Taurus. This aspect is already happening, but it will be exact on February 13th. This represents harmony of spirituality. Neptune is spirit, especially in Pisces. And our personal will, which is Mars, including our physicality, which is especially highlighted in Taurus. So this is a harmonious aspect of spiritual self and physical self. I wanted to include this particular aspect because Mars has been through so much. He had squares with the planets in Capricorn in 2020. He's just coming out of his conjunction with Uranus. And now he's squaring all these planets in Aquarius. This sextile is like a harmonious relief energy. And as he travels forward, he will be in harmonious aspect with these Aquarius planets. We have that to look forward to. And this is sort of the first wave of that. So when we're doing our yoga pose to incorporate this energy, I want you to imagine your spiritual self permeating like Pisces, right, which doesn't really have boundaries. It's the ocean energy, permeating without boundaries your physical self. So the yoga pose that we're going to do is a balancing bound angle pose. So we're going to start sitting. We're actually going to start balancing with our feet not together, which is what bound angle pose is. You can try stretching your legs straight out or having them a bit bent but just separating from each other. This is upright seated angle pose. So for this one, you can hold your ankles or your calves if your ankles feel too far away. You can hold the outside edges of your feet, or you can hold your big toe with your pointer and middle fingers. That's the yogi toe hold. Either way, get a hold of your legs and lift up tall through your back, squeeze your stomach to support your lower back, and see if you can get your feet off of the ground. If your feet can't get off of the ground, that's fine, just try. You don't have to heft your way up and then fall, right? It can just be a gradual process. Usually when I'm trying to get into a balancing pose, I try to think of it as a transfer of weight from one body part to another. So we're trying to transfer the weight from the feet into the pelvis. If you're already up, you can work on stretching the feet out away from each other. And then we're going to bend the knees and work on bringing the feet towards each other. The soles of the feet lining up all the way together in front of your chest. If you're not able to have your feet off of the ground, you can just do it on the ground. That's fine. Keep using your stomach, holding yourself up tall. Two soles of the feet coming together is this harmony of spiritual and physical self. Breathe nice and easily, and I want to recommend, if you feel comfortable, make a long humming sound. The vibration of the sound of your voice inside your body can remind us of our body being infused with our spirit. If the soles of the feet are together, you can wrap the hands around both feet. Keep your shoulders down. If you want, you can stretch the elbows out to the sides. Harmonious union with yourself. Gently bringing the feet back down to the ground and stretching them out. So we're going to be planting our seed of intention. Let's stretch the legs out and just do a quick forward bend, undoing any tension that might have built up in the knees from that pose before we bend them again to sit. Nice, easy, long breaths, letting your back relax, letting your head hang, letting go of any tension. And slowly rolling back up and finding any sitting position that feels comfortable for you. Don't be shy to use props, including a chair. You can always sit in a chair. And just taking a moment to settle into your sitting position. So the seed of intention that I would like for us to plant today is to contribute yourself. Offer yourself. And if we each do that, we create the collective in a very pure and generous way. Also, there's a lot of self-love and acceptance, knowing that you don't have to offer something. You don't necessarily have to offer an effort. You can just offer who you are. And really what you're doing when you do that is offering knowing who you are, which is wisdom. Our seed of intention is to offer ourself. Uranus is going to be squaring Saturn on February 17th. That's going to happen again in June and December of 2021. And many astrologers are calling that the biggest astrological event or theme of the year. And it has to do with one's unique individuality, which is Uranus, in relationship with societal structure, which is Saturn, especially in Aquarius. So we're already entering this first square coming up, and I want us to look forward to the whole year, knowing that we're going to keep offering ourself, our unique individual self, through self-love confidence, and self-acceptance. And through that, we're going to create a healthy collective. So let's close the eyes. As the breath comes in, you're knowing yourself. As the breath goes out, you're offering yourself. Inhale, knowing yourself. Exhale, offering yourself. And we'll just practice that for a few breaths. I'd like for you to imagine that you're planting the seed of this intention in a very fertile soil. And I want you to use your imagination to see this seed grow. As I said, whatever seed we plant now is going to be amplified and supported by Jupiter throughout the year. So it's a very fertile soil. This seed will grow. What kind of plant are you becoming? It could be an oak tree. It could be a sunflower. It could be grass. Whatever plant you're becoming, I want you to imagine it huge. So tall, so vibrant. Letting it grow even bigger in your imagination, even more fully realized. And when it's so big, I want you to expand a little bit your vision and imagine all of the other fully realized plants that it's surrounded by. All different kinds of plants. Everybody fully realized. That's the healthy collective. And that's a really wonderful vision of the future. I want to zoom out in our imagination even further, all the way into the big blue sky. See that beautiful sky. See if you can feel the warmth of the sun. And letting the warmth of the sun and the openness of the sky permeate your body. And we'll gently let that go. Okay, so we're going to move into our Vinyasas for today. The first one is going to be standing. You can have your feet either right underneath your hips or all the way together, whichever you prefer. If they're all the way together, it's a little bit trickier, so I'll let you decide for yourself. We're going to do a standing back bend to start. You can have the hands either at your lower back with the fingers pointing towards the floor, or your hands clasped together behind your back, reaching down towards the floor. Or you can have your arms up over your head with the palms together. Either way, we're going to reach long through the spine, all the way up towards the ceiling, and then arch gently back. When you go back, please don't push your hips forward. Stay with your pelvis over your feet as much as you can. If your pelvis travels a little bit forward, that's normal, but don't push the hips forward in order to lean back further. Breathe nice and easy. This is our sun and moon conjunction, seeing the future by looking behind us. Even if you're not really looking behind you, you can imagine that you are. Then we're going to do a swan dive forward, pausing sort of midway through the dive for a pose to express our Jupiter-Venus conjunction with a big open heart. If you're comfortable having the hands and the arms reaching back behind you, that's great. If you feel like you need a little more support for your lower back, you can press the hands into the thighs just above the knees, pushing down into the legs with the arms to help lift your chest up to take some weight out of your lower back. Breathe big into the chest. And then we're going to continue our dive all the way down, keeping your legs straight, coming down into our standing forward bend. This is our Mars-Neptune sextile. It's a spiritual physical harmony, bringing together of the upper and lower bodies. Lengthen down through your spine and then reach in towards your legs. If you feel a lot of pressure in your lower back, I don't want that for you. You can bend the knees a little bit, which should hopefully relieve some pressure from the lower back and put the stretch more into your legs. Or just try lengthening more down towards the floor rather than in towards your legs. And then we're going to bend the knees a little bit and roll back up, all the way back up to standing. And we'll continue through these three poses, in a flow. Back bend, up and back. Swan dive, open chest. Forward bend, down and in. Bend the knees a little bit to roll back up. Standing back bend, reaching back, smiling at the tailwinds. Swan diving forward, a big, generous, open chest. And folding down into yourself for the standing forward bend, spiritual and physical coming together. Rolling up. If you want to flow with your breath, go ahead, just make it easy. Today is all about easy. Find your own rhythm, find your own pace. One more round. And gently coming into stillness. Just take a moment noticing how you feel. Knowing that however you feel is fine, right? You can smile at yourself a little bit. Offering ourselves, right? Our intention means knowing ourselves. And in order to know ourselves, it helps to smile. It helps to be friendly. Letting whatever's in there come up and out. And we'll come down to sitting for our next vinyasa. So we'll start with both legs straight out. Try to have the legs very strong. And if you can sit up comfortably through your back and have the hands together in front of your chest, that would be great. If it feels like too much work to sit up, you can have the hands by your sides or right behind you and use the arms for support to help stretch up long through your back. This is actually our Mars-Neptune pose. We're going to keep the feet together and make slow, easy circles with the ankles. This is the harmony of the 2 feet. It's the harmony of the spiritual and physical self. And letting the feet rest in the center. We're going to do a twist to encompass our sun and moon energy. You can have one arm reaching forward and up and then back behind you. Again, kind of similar to how we did before, but now both legs are straight. The front arm can rest on the outside of your front leg, and the back hand can either go all the way back behind you to the ground, or it can reach back out from your shoulder, facing back into the lovely tailwinds that are reaching forward, extending that arm back, or just offering out that open chest. Feel the wind in your face. And then we'll come back to the front, reaching the back arm forward and down. Placing both hands behind you, bring the feet pretty wide with the knees bent. Try to have the feet wider than your hips. And we're going to press down through the arms, having the fingers spread wide and the palms flat back behind you on the ground. Reach up through your chest, look up towards the ceiling, or let your head fall all the way back and give a nice big arch through your whole spine. This is showing our Venus-Jupiter conjunction, our big open heart, our big open hips, offering ourselves fully. Pressing down through the arms to help open even bigger in your chest. And lifting your head back up, sitting up straight again, and stretching the legs straight out in front of you. Bringing the palms together if you can, and circling the ankles. If you remember which way you went before, you can do the opposite direction now. And then resting the feet in the center, reaching up with one arm and twisting to the back, using your front arm on the outside of your leg for support. Smiling back into the tailwinds coming up behind you. Reaching the arm back up, forward and down. And then bringing the hands back behind you, bending the knees, having the feet nice and wide. Pressing down through the hands behind you, fingers spread wide. Lifting up huge through the chest. Looking up or letting your head fall all the way back. Big open heart. Bringing your head back up. Bend, straightening both knees. Bringing the hands in front of your chest if you can, and circling the ankles again. So we'll keep going with this flow. The ankles circle. And then rest in the center. Reach up and twist to the back. And coming forward again. Hands back behind you. Press up as you bend the knees. Big wide hips, big wide chest. Let your head go back. And bringing the head forward again, straightening the legs out. And circling the ankles again, palms together if you feel comfortable. The feet rest in the center and we twist. The back arm comes forward again. We bend the knees and big, nice open arch. Keep going, flowing through these poses. Find your own pace. Really enjoy the breath, especially the inhales. There's so much momentum. There's so much air and expansiveness happening now. We can really feel that energy on the inhales. Letting one inhale carry you to the next inhale. And the next inhale, it's like we just keep expanding, keep expanding. Let that breath come in, opening you up. And reaching the end of that cycle. Our last vinyasa will be lying down, so give yourself a little time to finish your series at your own pace. And when you're ready, just lie down onto your back. You can lie all the way flat down. You can hug your knees into your chest, whatever you want. Feeling the support of the floor. Again, this is easy day at Yoga Any Day. So feel that floor holding you up. Allow yourself to be supported. And for our last vinyasa, we're going to bring the knees together up over your pelvis. The arms can be straight out to the sides with the palms facing up. And for our spiritual, physical union and harmony, we're going to make more circles here, circling the knees, keeping them together or roughly together, whatever you can do. Try to make it feel good, right? If you want to make a feel free to do so. Maybe you can even feel the vibration down in the pelvis. And then we're going to twist, both knees falling over to one side. And we're going to look with our head back the opposite way, looking back into our tailwinds. Those who are coming along the path behind us, helping us to move forward into the future. And we'll bring both knees back up and over to the other side and rotating the head the opposite way. You can give a little reach out gently through that hand, like you're offering your hand to help those up who are coming behind you. And bringing the knees and the head back into the center. We're going to bend the knees open and try to touch the toes together. If that's not comfortable or makes your feet feel like they're going to cramp, you can bring the soles of the feet together. The fingertips are going to touch up over your head along the floor. Arms nice and softly bent. If it's too hard and it feels like maybe it's pulling on your lower back, if the legs are in the air, you can just do the same position but with them on the ground. This is our Venus-Jupiter conjunction. Very expansive and very open. And then we'll open the arms straight out to the sides again, bringing the knees together over the pelvis and circling them the opposite direction. Again, feel free to hum if you want. And then twisting. Both knees go over to one side. You can start on the opposite side this time if you want. And your head looks over the other way. Undoing the twist, coming back to the center and over to the opposite side. Both knees down towards the floor and your head looking the opposite way. And back to the center, toes or soles of the feet touching, fingertips touching over your head, knees nice and open, elbows nice and open, big love. And we'll keep flowing through these poses. Arms out, knees together, circling. Over into the twist, looking the opposite way. Switching over to the opposite twist. Toes and fingertips come to touch, knees and elbows open. Arms out to the sides, knees together, circling. Keep going, find your rhythm. Try to really enjoy the ease of this flow. When we feel supported, it feels easier. So let's really try to enjoy that feeling. Finding your own unique rhythm and pace through the flow. And when you've reached the end of your cycle, just taking a moment to give yourself a little squeeze. You can wrap the arms around the legs or just hold the knees. You can curl your head up if you want, just giving yourself a hug. And then coming up to sitting however is easiest for you. Just taking a moment, sitting in a comfortable position, feeling your whole body, your whole heart, the future and the past all together. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again. Take care. Be well.